Night City had a strange atmosphere. Not just the oil, ozone, and recycled air, but something deeper, synthetic, controlled. Every street, every alley, every neon reflection feels engineered to keep things moving. Efficient, predictable. That's why the scream stands out. It cuts through the rain like a blade, sharp and human, echoing off chrome walls and glass towers. By the time the sound fades, Wolverine is already moving. He doesn't know how he got here. One moment there was snow, pine trees, silence. The next, neon, rain, and a city that never shuts up. His instincts tell him one thing clearly. This place is dangerous in a way that has nothing to do with animals or soldiers. This place hunts people slowly. Wolverine turns into a narrow alley just as a group of augmented thugs corner a man against a dumpster. Chrome arms, glowing optics, reflex boosters twitching under synthetic skin. They laugh as if violence here is just another transaction. "Should have paid, Choom," one of them sneers. The man begs, not loudly, not dramatically, just enough to remind Wolverine of things he thought he'd buried. That's when the claws come out. 3 adamantium blades slide from each hand with a sound that cuts through the rain, a clean metallic snikt that makes the thugs freeze. Not because they recognize what he is, because their threat assessment systems don't. Wolverine steps forward. "Walk away," he growls. One thug laughs. His optics flicker as software recalculates. "You're unchipped," he says. "This guy's got no implants." That's the mistake. The first thug doesn't even finish raising his weapon. Wolverine closes the distance faster than enhanced reflexes expect. Claws slash, not wildly, but precisely, through synthetic muscle, reinforced bone, and chrome plating that was never designed for something this dense. Blood and sparks mix in the rain. The second thug fires. Smart rounds curve mid-air. They bounce. Adamantium rings like a bell, and Wolverine is already on him. The man screams once before dropping to the ground in pieces his cyberware can't compensate for. The last one runs. Wolverine lets him. The man slumped by the dumpster stares in disbelief. What are you?" he asks. Wolverine retracts his claws slowly. "Not from around here." Sirens rise in the distance. Not police, not exactly. Something corporate, something fast. Wolverine turns away before questions come. He melts into the rain, vanishing between crowds who barely notice him. Violence is common here. The difference tonight is that it wasn't optimized. And Night City hates inefficiency. Wolverine moves through the city like a ghost from a past it never planned for. His senses are overwhelmed. Too many smells, too many sounds, too much artificial life humming everywhere at once. He passes Ripperdoc clinics glowing like butcher shops, corpos laughing behind armored glass, mercs negotiating contracts for lives that mean nothing to them. Everyone here is upgraded. Everyone except him. He catches his reflection in a cracked window, leather jacket soaked, hair plastered to his face, eyes sharp and tired. No chrome, no ports, no glow. An anomaly. A drone floats overhead, scanning passers-by. It pauses over him longer than the others. Wolverine looks up. The drone jitters, recalculates, then moves on. Legacy biology. No interface, no hooks. He's invisible to the system, and that makes him dangerous. Elsewhere, far above the street, Night City notices. Data spikes. Unclassified combat footage. Casualty reports that don't line up with known weapons. A kill signature that doesn't exist in any database. No cyberware, an analyst mutters. No external augmentation, no internal neural architecture. That's impossible, another replies. The footage loops. A man moving too fast, blades appearing where hands should be, attackers falling before their systems can respond. Flag it, a supervisor says. Priority anomaly. Wolverine ends up in a bar that smells like metal and bad decisions. The kind of place that doesn't ask questions if you don't. He sits with his back to the wall, orders something strong, and listens. He learns fast. Night City, megacorps, cyberware, a world where bodies are modular and souls are optional, a place where people sell pieces of themselves to survive and call it progress. He hates it. A merc at the bar notices him staring. "You knew?" the man asks, eyes glowing faintly. "Passing through," Wolverine replies. The merc smirks. "Ain't nobody just passing through Night City." The lights flicker. A woman bursts in, bleeding, screaming about a cyber psycho down the block. Panic ripples through the bar, not fear, but annoyance. Wolverine stands. The merc grabs his arm. "Don't. That's max-tac territory." Wolverine looks down at the hand on him. The merc lets go. The cyber psycho is huge, more machine than man, tearing through a storefront like paper. His optics burn red, targeting systems glitching as trauma overloads his brain. Wolverine watches for a second. This isn't rage. This is what happens when the body outgrows the mind. The psycho charges. Wolverine meets him head on. Fists slam into adamantium ribs. Metal screeches. Wolverine is thrown through a wall, gets up instantly, healing already stitching him back together. The psycho hesitates, confused. Nothing survives hits like that. Wolverine doesn't give him time to think. Claws flash. Joints sever. Power lines rip free. The psycho collapses. Systems screaming as flesh finally asserts itself over metal. When Max Tack arrives, weapons raised, they find Wolverine standing over the wreckage, breathing hard, eyes locked on them like an animal, deciding whether to fight or flee. They scan him. Their systems return nothing. Wolverine walks past them. No one stops him. That night, Night City logs a conclusion it doesn't understand. Subject does not require augmentation. Subject resists optimization. Wolverine stands on a rooftop, rain washing blood from his hands. He doesn't know why he's here or how long he'll stay, but he knows this. In a city where everyone is trying to become something else, he's about to remind them what they gave up. And Night City is going to regret noticing him. Night City takes notice. Night City doesn't sleep. It recalibrates. While rain keeps falling and neon keeps burning, systems deep inside corporate towers begin adjusting parameters. Algorithms rewrite threat models. Surveillance grids tighten by fractions of a percent. Somewhere far above the streets, Night City is trying to understand what it just saw, and failing. Wolverine doesn't feel the attention the way a chipped merc would. No warning pings, no subconscious nudges. But his instincts, older than this city, sharper than its software, tell him one thing clearly. He's being hunted. Not openly, not yet. First comes curiosity. Wolverine moves before dawn, sticking to rooftops and service corridors, places built for maintenance drones and forgotten workers. He learns the city vertically, how shadows stack, how sound carries between towers, how the air changes when you get high enough that the streets feel distant and unreal. He watches people from above. A corpo executive steps out of a penthouse elevator. Synthetic skin flawless, expression empty. Below, a street kid trades scavenged implants for food credits. Everyone here is negotiating with the city, trading pieces of themselves for safety, speed, relevance. Wolverine flexes his hands slowly. Adamantium hums under his skin. His healing factor tightens scar tissue that never lasts. No contracts, no subscriptions, no maintenance fees. Night City has no leverage on him. That makes him unpredictable. The first approach is subtle. A fixer tracks him down at a noodle stand near the docks. A woman with calm eyes and too many backups. She sits across from him without asking. "You made a mess last night," she says, slurping noodles. Corps don't like messes. Wolverine doesn't look at her. "Wasn't my mess," she smiles thinly. "In Night City, it always is." She slides a shard across the table. "We want to talk. Discreet. High pay." Wolverine pushes it back. "Not for sale." The fixer pauses. That almost never happens. "You don't even know who's paying," she says. Wolverine finally meets her gaze. "That's how I know the answer." She studies him longer this time. "You're not augmented." "No," he says. "That makes you either very brave," she continued, "or very dead." Wolverine stands, leaving credits on the counter. "Guess we'll see." She watches him go, expression unreadable. Elsewhere, the shard activates anyway. In a megacorp tower bearing the logo of Cyberpunk 2077's most aggressive biotech division, executives review the footage again. "Organic regeneration at this rate violates known biology," one says. "Could be nanotech," another suggests. "No signal," an analyst replies. "No swarm markers, no control interface." Silence follows. Then, "What if it's natural?" The room goes still. "That's not possible," someone says quickly. But the data doesn't care about belief. They label him subject, Pharaoh-class organism, threat status, unknown. Unknown is unacceptable. Wolverine feels it when the drones start following him more closely. Not openly, always just outside his peripheral vision, always retreating the moment he turns. Testing reactions. He lets them. He wants to know who's bold enough to come first. They choose wrong. The ambush happens in an industrial district where factories chew through scrap and spit out smoke. No civilians, no witnesses. Clean. 4 mercs drop in around him. Top-tier chrome, reflex boosts humming, targeting optics painting him red. Their leader speaks calmly. "Stand down," he says. "We don't want to hurt you." Wolverine snorts. "Then you picked the wrong city." They open fire. Smart rounds curve. Monowire lashes. An EMP grenade detonates at his feet. Wolverine staggers for half a second, then grins. The EMP does nothing. There's nothing to fry. He moves. The fight is short and ugly. Chrome limbs tear free. Healing factor closes wounds faster than blades can open them. The mercs panic when their systems can't predict him, when damage that should cripple him means nothing. The leader tries to retreat. Wolverine grabs him by the collar, lifting him off the ground. "Who sent you?" Wolverine growls. The merc's optics flicker wildly. "Biotech. Division." Wolverine knocks him out cold and drops him into the rain. The drones watching from above retreat instantly. Data floods corporate servers. Fear follows. By morning, Night City is whispering. Rumors spread fast in a place like this. A man with blades in his hands. A fighter who doesn't need chrome. Someone who walks away from hits that should kill. Street kids start calling him the Relic. Ripper docs argue about him like a myth. Some want to cut him open. Others want to worship him. Cyber psychos feel something new when they hear his name. Not rage, doubt. Wolverine feels the shift. People look at him differently now. Not with the hunger reserved for upgrades, but with something closer to awe or resentment. He hates both. He finds another cyber psycho that night. This one younger, faster, terrified. The fight ends with Wolverine pinning the kid down, claws at his throat. "Don't do this," the kid sobs. "They said the upgrades would fix me." Wolverine retracts his claws. "They lied," he says quietly. Sirens approach. Wolverine vanishes before they arrive. In a sealed room miles above the streets, a decision is made. He can't be controlled, an executive says. "Then we study him," another replies. "And if he resists?" A pause. "Then we escalate." They greenlight a project that hasn't been used in decades. Not hunters, collectors. Wolverine stands on a bridge overlooking the city as dawn struggles through the smog. He can feel Night City shifting around him, adjusting, tightening, preparing. Good. He cracks his knuckles, claws sliding out just enough to catch the light. "Come on," he mutters. Night City wanted a system it could perfect. Instead, it found a man it couldn't break. And now, it's about to learn the difference. The collectors. Night City stops whispering. It starts planning. What Wolverine broke in the streets wasn't just muscle or metal. It was a rule. In Night City, everything has a failsafe. Every threat can be bought, hacked, upgraded, or erased. Everything except him. That's why the mercs failed. That's why the drones pulled back. And that's why the corporations don't send killers next. They send collectors. Wolverine feels the change before he sees it. The city's rhythm tightens. Patrol routes overlap more cleanly. Drones stop hovering and start waiting. Fixers go quiet when he enters a room. Doors open a fraction of a second slower, as if systems are double-checking something they don't understand. He's no longer an anomaly. He's an objective. Wolverine moves toward the industrial outskirts, places corporations forgot to beautify. Rusted factories, abandoned rail yards, power stations still humming decades past relevance. If someone wants to corner him, this is where they'll try. They do. The lights die first, not all at once. Too obvious. One sector at a time, cascading until the district sinks into darkness, broken only by emergency reds and distant neon glow. Wolverine stops walking. The air changes. He smells ozone, coolant, human sweat, masked by synthetic pheromones. "Come out," he says. Silence. Then something moves too fast for drones and too quiet for mercs. The first collector hits him like a truck. Wolverine slams into a concrete wall, hard enough to crater it. His healing factor kicks instantly, bones snapping back into place before pain can settle. He grins as he pushes himself up. "Yeah," he mutters. "There you are. The collectors aren't mercs. They move differently. No wasted motion, no over-reliance on optics. Their cyberware is minimal but refined. Reinforced tendons, adaptive armor woven beneath skin, predictive combat algorithms tuned for close quarters, built to capture, not kill. Two more rush him. Wolverine meets them head-on. Claws screech against adaptive plating that actually holds for a second. Then adamantium wins. Limbs separate. Sparks shower the darkness. A net slams over him. Monofilament strands tightening instantly, designed to slice through tanks and mechs. Wolverine roars and flexes. The net snaps. The collectors hesitate. That half second costs them. Wolverine moves through them like a force of nature, Brutal, efficient, angry, but they don't break like street thugs. They adapt mid-fight, changing tactics, herding him toward a specific location, toward containment. Wolverine realizes it too late. The ground drops out from under him. He wakes up restrained. That alone is impressive. Magnetic clamps lock his limbs, humming at frequencies designed to interfere with muscle contraction. The room smells sterile, too clean, too quiet. His healing factor works, but the restraints anticipated, tightening just enough to keep him still. Glass walls surround him. People watch. Scientists, executives, security officers standing far enough back to feel safe. A woman steps forward, hands clasped behind her back. Her eyes aren't augmented, but her calm is. "Incredible," she says. "You survived impact sedation, electromagnetic suppression, and structural containment." Wolverine bares his teeth. "You forgot Rude," she smiles politely. "Dr. Kestrel, Biotech Division." "Let me guess," Wolverine growls. "You want to cut me open?" "Not exactly," she replies. "We want to understand you." She gestures, and holograms spring to life around him. Scans of his skeleton, muscle fibers, cellular regeneration looping in impossible speed. Adamantium-laced bone structure, she continues. Self-repairing tissue with no apparent upper limit, no cyberware, no nanotech. Her voice tightens, just a little. "You are proof that the human body can outperform everything we've built." Wolverine meets her gaze. "So what? Your ego's hurt?" Dr. Kestrel doesn't rise to the bait. Night City runs on improvement, on the belief that flesh is obsolete. She looks at him like a puzzle that insults her. "And then you arrived." They test him, not cruelly, not at first. They increase gravity fields. He adapts. They flood the room with toxins. He purges them. They introduce neural inhibitors. There's nothing to inhibit. Hours pass, maybe days. Wolverine loses track. What scares them most isn't his strength. It's that he heals without permission. No subscription, no control node, no master switch. "Can you replicate it?" an executive asks behind the glass. Dr. Kestrel shakes her head. "Not fully. The healing factor isn't just biological, it's adaptive. It resists standardization." "Then isolate the principle," the executive snaps. "Weaponize it." Wolverine laughs, low and dangerous. "Told you," he says. "You picked the wrong guy." The breach comes from below. Not a bomb, not an assault, a failure. Systems glitch as something unexpected happens in the city above. A cyber-psycho incident spirals out of control. Then another. Then a riot. Night City's attention splits. Containment power dips by 3%. Wolverine feels it immediately. He pushes. The clamps strain. Alarms blare. Security floods the room, weapons raised. Wolverine rips free. The glass wall explodes outward as he launches himself through it, claws carving red arcs through the air. Scientists scatter. Security fires. Bullets tear into him and fall uselessly to the floor as wounds close in seconds. Dr. Kestrel watches in stunned silence as her masterpiece becomes a massacre. Wolverine stops inches from her face. "Here's your data," he snarls. "I don't belong to you." He leaves her alive. That choice haunts her more than death ever could. Wolverine escapes into the Undercity through maintenance tunnels slick with coolant and blood. Sirens chase him for miles before losing his trail. By the time he surfaces, Night City is burning in pockets. fires of distraction, chaos of its own making. He stands in the rain again, breathing hard, wounds already gone. Now he understands. Night City doesn't want him dead. It wants him contained, copied, controlled, turned into a product. Wolverine looks up at the glowing towers. "Not happening," he growls. Behind him, in corporate vaults and black labs, Project Adamant shifts from theory to urgency. Because Night City just learned something terrifying. It didn't capture a weapon. It captured a man, and it barely survived letting him go. Berserker Protocol. Night City doesn't get angry. It compensates. After Wolverine tears his way out of corporate containment, the city does what it always does when something breaks the model. It widens the net. Street cams sink. Corporate AIs loosen privacy thresholds. Black sites spin up contingency playbooks that haven't been touched in years. The word collector is quietly retired. A new label takes its place. Berserker Protocol. Active. Wolverine knows the shift the moment he surfaces. The rain is heavier. Not weather. Policy. Traffic routes divert in ways that funnel movement. Streetlights flare brighter where shadows should be. The city isn't trying to watch him anymore. It's trying to steer him. He moves fast, sticking to elevation and cover. But Night City has learned his rhythms. Drones don't follow. They predict. Doors unlock half a second before he reaches them, then seal behind him. The city is hurting its problem. Fine. He lets it. The first kill squad hits in Japantown, under a canopy of kanji and steam. Not mercs, not cops. Black Ops Corpsec with minimal chrome and maximum discipline. Smart weapons tuned to avoid adamantium deflection. Sonic disruptors calibrated for pain, not damage. They want him slowed. They don't get it. Wolverine barrels through the first line, claws tearing through armor with a screech that makes people scatter. A sonic burst drops him to one knee, his head ringing, vision swimming. But the pain only sharpens him. He launches forward, ripping a rifle in half and using it like a club. He's bleeding when it ends. He's laughing too. The squad withdraws in clean formation, dragging their wounded. No pursuit, no bravado. Testing complete. Night City escalates again. A fixer named Kiro reaches out next. Old school, unaugmented voice on a dead channel. "You're making waves," he says. "Corps are scared. That's bad for business." Wolverine doesn't slow. "Get out of my way," Kiro sighs. "Can't. They're offering a bounty that'll bring everyone." "Good," Wolverine says. "Saves me time." Kiro hesitates. "They're not after your head. They want you intact. Then they're gonna keep failing." The city proves him right. At a cost. They unleash a hybrid team. Max TAC oversight. Corporate command. Experimental assets pulled from sealed vaults. The streets choke with sirens. A cyberpsycho breaks containment nearby, used as bait. Civilians run. Wolverine smells fear, real fear, not simulated. He chooses the psycho. The fight is brutal. Steel against bone, rage against rage. The psycho's upgrades hit harder than anything he's faced yet, slamming Wolverine through storefronts and into traffic lanes. Cars explode. A gunship lights the street up. Wolverine endures. He always does. When it's over, the psycho lies dismantled, breathing, but done. Wolverine stands between him and the kill squad, chest heaving, claws wet. "No," he growls. The squad hesitates. That hesitation costs them control of the moment, and Night City sees it. From that point on, the city's tone changes. not louder, colder. They cut power to entire districts to flush him out, shut down transit, lock elevators, weaponize scarcity. It's not about Wolverine anymore. It's about pressure, making people blame him. And it works. Crowds jeer, fixers close doors. Someone throws a bottle from a balcony. Take your freak show somewhere else. Wolverine absorbs it, jaw tight. He's been blamed before. Dr. Kestrel watches it all from a sealed room, hands shaking as she rewinds footage of his escape. Her team presents projections, containment options, replication pathways, failure probabilities. They won't stop, she says quietly. Then we finish the protocol, an executive replies. What protocol? She asks. The executive smiles. Turn him into a symbol, Night City pushes a narrative. Clipped footage, half-truths, a monster who draws violence, a relic who destabilizes order, the bounty doubles. 000 fixers circulate sanitized kill shots. Wolverine feels it in the streets, fear curdling into hatred. So he changes tactics. He stops running. The showdown happens at a transit nexus. Old rails, new skyways, thousands of people forced to funnel through choke points. Night City expects him to flee. He walks into the open. Gunships circle, squads deploy, cameras go live. Wolverine looks up at the drones. You want me? He snarls. I'm right here. They open fire. He charges. The fight is chaos. Pure, uncontrolled, human. Wolverine tears through lines that were supposed to be unbreakable. Sonic weapons stagger him. He pushes through. Smart rounds bounce, claws carve. He takes hits meant to stop tanks and keeps coming. Civilians watch, then scatter, then watch again. They see something they've never seen before. A man who refuses to be managed. In the aftermath, the plaza is wrecked. Squads withdraw. Gunships pull back low on ammo and confidence. Wolverine stands alone, blood steaming in the rain, wounds closing as the cameras keep rolling. Night City's narrative breaks. Not because he won, because he wouldn't stop. Later, on a quiet overpass, Kiro finds him again. They're split, he says. Half want you erased, half want you studied harder. Wolverine looks at the city. And the people? Kiro shrugs. They're starting to ask why none of their upgrades can do what you do. Wolverine nods once. That's the point. Kiro studies him. You're not trying to burn the city down. No, Wolverine says. I'm trying to make it remember. Deep inside corporate servers, Berserker Protocol updates its conclusions. Subject cannot be contained without collateral failure. Symbolic risk. Extreme. Dr. Kestrel closes her eyes. They wanted a weapon. They built a mirror. And Night City doesn't like what it sees staring back. The city blinks back. Night City doesn't collapse after Berserker Protocol fails. It pauses. That's new. Sirens fade without resolution. Gunships peel away instead of circling back. Feeds cut mid-narrative. For the first time in recent memory, the city's systems don't agree on what comes next. And in that hesitation, something human slips through. Wolverine moves through the aftermath like a bruise the city can't hide. Streets are scorched where gunfire chewed concrete. Neon signs flicker, struggling to sell normalcy. People peek from doorways and alleys, not cheering, not cursing, watching. They've seen violence before, plenty of it. They've never seen someone refuse to be managed. Wolverine feels the shift in the air. The hunt hasn't stopped, but it's lost its certainty. Drones keep their distance. Squads shadow him without committing. Fixers don't call. Ripperdocs lock doors when he passes, not out of fear, but confusion. He ducks into a laundromat running on backup power. The machines hum like tired animals. He sits, breathing steady, wounds knitting beneath torn fabric. Steam rises faintly from his skin. A kid across the room stares at him, eyes wide. "You really don't have chrome?" the kid asks. Wolverine shrugs. "Never needed it." The kid frowns. "Then how do you keep going?" Wolverine thinks of cold forests, of wars fought for lies, of pain that never quite leaves. "You get used to it," he says. The kid doesn't look convinced, but he looks curious. That matters. Above the streets, the city's argument turns inward. In a glass conference room, executives shout over one another. Risk projections spike. PR teams scramble. Legal wants distance. Biotech wants custody. Security wants escalation. Dr. Kestrel says nothing. She's watching the footage again. Not the fight, but the moments after. The way Wolverine checked on civilians. The way he stepped between max-tac rifles and a cyber psycho who was already beaten. "He's not trying to win," she says finally. The room quiets. "He's not trying to destroy us," she continued. "He's exposing us." "Semantics," an executive snaps. "No," Kestrel replies. "A mirror." Silence follows. They hate mirrors. Night City tries something new. Not force, narrative. They roll out a softer story. Wolverine as unstable relic, as a man out of time, as a walking disaster zone who leaves chaos behind him. No outright lies, just careful framing, fear with a smile. It almost works, until the footage leaks. Unedited clips, raw angles, Wolverine pulling civilians from rubble, standing down when squads hesitated, taking hits meant for others. The city watches itself watching him and starts asking the wrong questions. Wolverine hears the questions in the streets. If he can do that without upgrades, why did they tell us we had to? Why do they need so many fail-safes if we're improved? Cyber psychos hesitate before rampaging. Mercs question contracts. A Ripperdoc closes shop early and stares at his hands like they don't belong to him. Small things. Small, dangerous things. A fixer finally reaches Wolverine with an offer that isn't money. Safe passage. Out of the city. Off the grid. No drones. No trackers. "Why?" Wolverine asks. The fixer exhales. "Because if you stay, they'll either kill you or turn this place inside out trying, and a lot of people will get hurt." Wolverine looks out at the skyline. The city hums, wounded, stubborn, alive. "And if I go?" he asks. The fixer hesitates. "Then the questions stay." Wolverine nods. "Good." The ambush still comes, not ordered, personal. A merc crew corners him under an overpass, young, overchromed, angry. "This is your fault," one of them spits. "You made everything harder." They open fire. Wolverine doesn't counterattack immediately. He advances, absorbing hits, eyes locked on theirs. "You didn't have to sell yourselves," he says through the gunfire. "You chose to." That stops them. Just long enough. He disarms them brutally, but leaves them breathing. When it's over, he's alone again. Rain washing blood into the gutter. The city blinks. Again. Dr. Kestrel watches the merc footage and realizes the truth too late. They can't win by killing him. They can't win by copying him. They can only win by outlasting him. so they shift strategy one last time. Withdrawal. Berserker protocol is downgraded. Patrols ease. Bounties freeze. The city exhales and pretends nothing happened. But the pretense is thin now. Wolverine stands at the edge of the city as dawn breaks. Real dawn, not scheduled. Smog thins just enough to show sky. The road out stretches cracked and quiet. Behind him, Night City flickers back into routine. Not unchanged, just aware. A woman approaches, one of the civilians he pulled from the plaza. She holds out a patch, a simple thing, hand-stitched. "Thanks," she says, "for reminding us." Wolverine takes it, nods once, and turns away. In the towers, final reports settle. Conclusion. Subject is not a threat to systems. Subject is a threat to assumptions. Dr. Kestrel closes the file and stares at her reflection in the glass. For the first time, she wonders who the upgrades were really for. Wolverine walks the road out as the city wakes behind him. Vendors opening stalls, traffic restarting, neon warming back up. He knows this isn't the end. Night City will adapt. It always does. The corporations will find new language, softer cages, better excuses. But they won't forget him, because in a world built on improvement, he proved something unforgivable. You don't need to be upgraded to endure. You just need to be willing to hurt and keep going anyway. And that idea is harder to kill than he is. What can't be upgraded? The road out of Night City doesn't feel like freedom. It feels unfinished. Cracked asphalt stretches into dust and scrub, power lines sagging like tired veins. The neon glow fades behind Wolverine, replaced by a sky that doesn't advertise anything. No prompts, no reminders, just wind and the low hum of old infrastructure still pretending it has a purpose. Wolverine keeps walking. He expects pursuit, a last ambush, some clever trick meant to drag him back. Instead, there's silence. Thick, watchful, patient, the kind that waits to see if you'll make the mistake first. He doesn't. By nightfall, he reaches a nomad camp strung together from salvage and stubbornness. Trucks patched with mismatched panels circle a fire. Kids run barefoot between generators that cough and sputter. No chrome glints in the firelight. No drones hover overhead. A woman steps out to meet him, rifle low, eyes steady. "We don't sell people," she says. Wolverine nods. "I don't buy." That's enough. They give him water, a place near the fire. Nobody asks what he is. They ask where he's been. That tells him everything about how they live. Later, a kid sits across from him, fascinated by the scars that appear and vanish on his knuckles as the healing finishes its quiet work. "Does it hurt?" the kid asks. "Sometimes," Wolverine says. "Why don't you fix it?" the kid presses, gesturing to the old tools and half-working tech. Wolverine stares into the fire. "Some things aren't meant to be fixed," he says. "They're meant to be carried." The kid thinks about that, then goes back to roasting something unidentifiable and smiling anyway. Out here, pain isn't optimized away. It's shared, argued over, laughed at. The camp argues about routes and fuel and whether to push farther north. They disagree loudly. Nobody shuts anyone down with metrics. Decisions take time. Mistakes happen. People remember them. Wolverine sleeps lightly, senses tuned to the open dark. At dawn, he smells ozone. A drone skims the horizon, high altitude, unmarked, passive scan. It doesn't descend. It doesn't signal. It just watches, learning shapes and heat signatures and the rhythm of life without schedules. Wolverine steps away from the camp so the scan won't linger. "Hey," the woman with the rifle calls softly. "You bring trouble?" Wolverine looks back once. "Only if it follows me." She nods. "Then keep walking." He does. Miles away, Night City's analysts argue over conflicting data. The anomaly left the grid. The absence itself creates noise. Models degrade when a variable refuses to stay inside them. A quiet proposal circulates, not a hunt, an offer. The message reaches Wolverine as a shimmer in the heat, a projection tuned not to startle. No logos, no threats, just a voice that sounds carefully human. "We can help," it says. "Stability, resources, a place to exist without pressure." Wolverine doesn't slow. "You already tried helping." "We learned," the voice replies. "We won't touch your body, no restraints, no replication, only observation." Wolverine stops, finally, and turns. "You don't get to observe without changing things." A pause. Real, this time. "There are cities beyond Night City," the voice says. "They're copying our mistakes faster than we can fix them. You destabilize assumptions. That has value." Wolverine laughs once. "You want me as a cautionary tale. As a reference," the voice corrects. "No," Wolverine says. "You want me as permission." The projection flickers. "If you refuse, you'll keep building cages with nicer paint," Wolverine finishes. "Do what you were gonna do." The shimmer fades. The drone on the horizon climbs higher and vanishes. Days pass. The land opens up. Windmills creak. Old towns lean into the sun. Wolverine helps where he can, pulls engines free, lifts beams, scares off raiders who thought nomads would be easy marks. He never stays long. Symbols rot if they linger. One night, a raider gang tries their luck anyway. Augmented bikes, confidence bought on credit. They circle, revving engines, projecting bravado. Wolverine steps into the open. They scan him. Their overlays return nothing useful. He lets them fire once. The rounds tear into him and fall uselessly. He keeps walking. The bikes stall as panic replaces certainty. Wolverine doesn't kill them. He breaks their machines and tells them to leave. They do. Word travels faster than drones. In Night City, Dr. Kestrel reviews reports from the outskirts. Not crimes, ripples, Merc crews refusing contracts, Ripperdocs advertising low chrome options, a market emerging for unoptimized labor, slow, careful, human. It terrifies the board, not because it's violent, because it's voluntary. "You said he wasn't a threat," an executive snaps. Kestrel meets his eyes. "I said he wasn't containable." "What do we do?" Kestrel looks at the footage again. The way Wolverine stands when the guns come up. The way he leaves when the guns go down. "We stop pretending there's a final fix," she says. "And we start asking why we need one." She knows how that will go. Wolverine reaches a ridge overlooking a spread of lights. Another city, smaller, quieter, learning the same wrong lessons in a different order. He smells steel and ambition on the wind. He could keep walking forever. He knows he won't. He flexes his hands. The claws stay sheathed. He doesn't need them yet. Behind him, the road holds his footprints until the wind takes them. Ahead, the city hums, unsure of itself. Wolverine starts down the slope, not to save it, not to burn it, just to be there when it tries to decide what matters, and to make sure the answer isn't handed to it by a system that's afraid of pain, because some things can't be upgraded. They can only be lived with. And if Night City taught him anything, it's this: a world that forgets how to hurt, forgets how to choose. Wolverine keeps walking, carrying the weight he never traded away. The systems will adapt, the questions will follow. And somewhere between the two, humanity will have to decide what it's willing to keep: unoptimized, imperfect, and real. A city that remembers too much. The city ahead looks wrong, not broken, not exactly, paused. As Wolverine approaches, he feels it before he sees it, a pressure in the air, like standing too close to a thought that won't let go. Towers rise through fog, their lights flickering irregularly, not failing, but looping. Streets glow with half-formed holograms that don't advertise anything. They replay memories. This city didn't erase humanity like Night City tried to. It did the opposite. It gave everything back, all at once. Wolverine steps onto the first street and stops. A man stands in the middle of the road, arguing with no one, or rather, arguing with someone only he can see. A holographic woman flickers in and out before him, shouting the same sentence on repeat, her face frozen in a moment of anger that never gets to resolve. Nearby, a child laughs uncontrollably, not because she's happy, but because the memory playing around her won't stop restarting. Birthday candles, applause, a loop of joy that's become unbearable. No dampeners, no filters, no mercy. Wolverine's jaw tightens. This is what happens when systems panic and overcorrect. He moves deeper. The city tried to be ethical. That much is obvious. No corporate branding, no manipulation overlays, no hidden nudges. Instead, full memory restoration, every edit reversed, every suppression lifted, truth unleashed, and it drowned them. People sit on sidewalks, clutching their heads, eyes unfocused, as entire lifetimes collide at once. Regret piles on regret. Love resurfaces without context. Trauma returns without warning or pacing. The human mind was never meant to process itself at full bandwidth. Wolverine knows pain. He's lived through centuries of it. But he had time. Years between losses, decades to scar over. These people got it all in a week. A woman approaches him, steady in a way that stands out. No implants, no projections following her. Her eyes are tired, but present. "You're not affected," she says. Wolverine shakes his head. "I remember the hard way." She nods. "Then you understand the problem." They walk together through a plaza where a massive server tower looms, dark and silent. Someone has spray-painted words across it in shaking letters. "Remembering is not healing." The woman introduces herself as Aaliyah, one of the engineers who helped build the restoration system, and one of the first to regret it. "We thought giving everything back would make people whole," she says. Instead, it froze them. Wolverine watches a man nearby relive a goodbye over and over, collapsing each time like it's the first. "Memory without choice is just another cage, see?" he says. Aaliyah looks at him sharply. "That's exactly it. The city is splitting. Some people want the dampeners back, any relief, even if it costs autonomy. Others refuse, calling any filter another lie. Arguments break out constantly, not violent, but desperate. Everyone is right. That's the problem." Wolverine listens. He doesn't preach. He watches who isn't drowning. Children. They play in alleys where the holograms flicker weakest. They argue, laugh, fall, get back up. Their memories aren't looping. They aren't saturated yet. They're learning in real time, Wolverine says quietly. Elia follows his gaze. You're saying we teach them differently. I'm saying you don't dump the past on them all at once, Wolverine replies. You let them earn it, carry it. She exhales. Slow truth, human truth, Wolverine corrects. Night falls, but the city never really darkens. Memories glow too brightly for that. Wolverine spends the night pulling people out of loops, not by force, but by grounding them. A hand on a shoulder, a sharp word, a choice offered instead of a command. It works, not always, not cleanly, but enough. By morning, people begin turning systems off manually, not erasing, pausing, choosing when to remember instead of being dragged. The city breathes for the first time in days. From afar, other systems watch. This city isn't collapsing. It isn't stabilizing either. It's adapting, slowly, painfully, inefficiently. That terrifies them. Elia finds Wolverine at the city's edge as dawn breaks through the fog. You should stay, she says. Help us rebuild this right. Wolverine considers it. He could. He knows how to endure. He knows how to carry memory without letting it crush him. He could be the anchor this place needs. That's why he won't. Cities start leaning on symbols when they're scared, he says. I don't stick around long enough to become one. She nods, understanding more than she wants to. What happens next? She asks. Wolverine looks back at the city. People arguing again, but differently now. Not frozen, not flooded, just human. Now you decide what's worth remembering today, he says, and what can wait. He leaves before the systems finish recalibrating. That's his pattern now. Where memory is erased, he reminds people to remember. Where memory overwhelms, he reminds them to choose. Not balance as a formula, balance as practice. As Wolverine walks into the open land beyond the city, he feels it again. The pull of another place ahead. Another system wrestling with the same fear from a different angle. This one won't erase. It won't overload. It will soften, will, and that, Wolverine knows, can be just as dangerous. He keeps walking, claws sheathed, senses sharp, because the future doesn't just fear monsters anymore. It fears men who remember pain, survive it, and refuse to let anyone else decide what it means. And somewhere ahead, another city is about to learn that lesson the hard way.